Well, this is different. Ever since this show's inception, I've tackled only novels, but this provided me with a fresh challenge. And of course it happened because of furries. Anthologies are the most prominent books produced in the furry fandom, mainly because while the market has expanded over the years, that market is still small compared to pretty much everyone else. And those genres have several big publishers with huge teams able to produce dozens of novels a month. You'll be lucky enough to get 2 from one furry publisher in an entire season, let alone if they'll be 1, well received, and 2, profitable. Anthologies are a great way to get around that. Instead of 1 story, we have 12, providing a wide range of stories with authors new and old to experiment and hopefully build an audience. And today, we're looking at one of the oldest current anthologies that helped pave the way for the modern furry market. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, my name is David Popovich, aka the Bookworm, and welcome to Bookworm Reviews. Sit back and relax as we dive into Roar, Volume 1, edited by Ben Goodrich. So what is Roar? Roar is dedicated to showcasing the best anthropomorphic stories for a general audience. Mainly because, well, who else was publishing furry books? A long time ago, I picked up on the conventional wisdom that it is next to impossible to publish a furry story. Other genres treat anthropomorphics as the somewhat creepy little cousin that arrived a tad late to the picnic and glared down upon it with undiscussed scorn. And this was around the mid-2000s. The writer's market was not where it is today. You could count the number of reliable anthropomorphic fiction publications on one gloved 4-finger paw. Which is why Ben Goodrich decided to produce Roar, to show people just what a furry story can do, because furry is not tied down to one genre. There are so many possibilities you could play with it to make a great story. Why write furry stories? Well, my own answer is simply that it's easier that way. Easier for me to visualize who they are and what they're up to. And that is true, leading Roar to produce 6 volumes and a 7th on the way. And it is anthologies like Roar, Fang, and Heat that the furry market is even here today, with about 5 or 6, it's a little confusing, publishers, and a lot of anthologies being made. All because of books like these. So what stories did this little anthology showcase? Well, like all anthologies, they have a theme, and Roar Volume 1 is focused on science fiction. But because there are 12 stories, and if I really tried to explain them in depth, it would more than likely spoil them entirely. What I'm going to do is a series of quick reviews, a short description of the plot, my thoughts whether the story was good, wrapping up with whether the anthology overall is worth your time. You ready? Because it's about to go down in 3, 2, 1, let's jam! A zebra finds his space station is under attack when a lion commander comes on board. But is this a political attack from a terrorist group, or was this planned so the lion can hunt? The story has a good pace of isolation as our main character starts to get more paranoid with the lion always following him alone in the dark station, leaving reason behind as instinct takes over. It's like Zootopia! In space! However, the ending is pretty meh. Not only does the overall problem pay off to nothing, the actual ending feels weak since its message is, don't judge a book by its cover. Meh, not the best start. Next! This one has the distinction of having the main lead on the cover. In a H.G. Wells steampunk-inspired world, a university professor is called back home as his father enters his final days. However, we learn how the professor's life was never his own under the rule of his father, and as we learn more about him and his world, if he is even capable of free will. Now this is a good story! I found the world fascinating and the character exchanges are a real treat, leading to an ending that is both demented and uplifting. It's good. Next! Casey is your typical high school ferret, but has started to suffer from strange dreams about another ferret named Pandora, a special creation that seems to be warning Cassie about something. Can she figure out what it is before those close to her suffer the consequences? This one is decent. It has an interesting angle as we flip between the two characters, and you wonder just what the big mystery of Pandora is. However, the ending just didn't do much for me. It's an okay twist, but I got confused. I get this is supposed to be tragic, but its answers were too vague to actually mean anything to me. It's okay, but hollow in the end. Next! An energy mogul's monopoly is being threatened by a new up-and-comer with technology that can put him out of business. But he will not go down without a fight by hiring the best man to take care of his needs. This one has some of the best character interactions in the whole book. The way they bounce off each other, give us glimpses into their world, and build suspense over the possible consequences. If only it had any. The thing that holds the story back is that nothing really happens. The whole thing is, you do a thing, I did the thing, good, the end. Next. This one is a little hard to explain without spoiling the entire plot, but this follows Violet and her second husband while still dealing with the death of her first. But, spoilers, 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 she fears the past repeating itself, spoilers, 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 robots. Damn it. This one is pretty standard. Classic sci-fi tropes and topics, only this time with anthro animals. It's nothing special, but it's still a decent slice of sci-fi. Also robots. Next. Trevor is trying to rescue his brother from an evil corporation, but his only hope may come from a mysterious being in his head named Cassius. But what are his motivations? This one is a convoluted mess. It sounds like a simple plot and it has a decent framing device, but the ending pile drives you with a metric ton of lore that's not only rushed, but leaves you unsatisfied as the plot takes a back seat for one-dimensional characters talking about... I don't know. What were we talking about? Next? A scientist discovers a special power that has made him a target for the military, but as he learns more about the power, he will have to make a choice that can either save or destroy his world. This is supposed to be the first part of a bigger story. I have no idea if this story even continues. I can't even find out who the writer is. So, most of this feels pretty pointless. I hate incomplete stories. Next! A fox is tasked with hunting down supernatural creatures attacking human villages, but the humans don't trust a being that's a walking fox. I have no idea how this fits with the science fiction theme. This is more dark fantasy than anything else. The story itself is okay, but there's not much substance to it. Feels more like a pilot to a bigger story for the main character than anything to stand on its own. Okay, but it's a black sheep in the book. Next! A lonely cat transporting people in space comes across a mysterious object that can destroy the ship, but there may be more to the object than meets the eye, and can put the cat's name down into history. I honestly can't remember much about this story at all. No, really, I can't. Nothing really stood out about it. I do remember the ending being weird, but I have no idea what to make of it. I got nothing for this one. Next! A scientist is assigned to supervise a genetically engineered dragon while a murder mystery happens on his ship. This one is pretty decent. The mystery itself isn't all that interesting and isn't really notable, but the interactions with the main characters are charming and keep the story afloat. Overall, it's okay. Also, there's a dragon in it. I like dragons. Next! A young tribesman has become the vessel for the survival of an alien species. He must travel from his primitive land to the modern city for a chance to save them, all while his jealous brother tries to hold him back. This one is good, if not the best of the lot. The book covers a lot of territory, but the pacing is just right. Nothing feels too long or too short, and the ending will leave you with all of the feels. This one is really good. Next. I wonder how this one got accepted. A young werewolf travels the world, but when he returns to his homeland, discovers his people have lost their way, and he must figure out how to get it back. Short, simple, and to the point. Doesn't overstay its welcome, and offers a short tale of hope. A nice topping to end the book. Overall, the book is okay. For a book claiming to promote the best the fandom can offer, there were some real clunkers, and a lot of the stories overall didn't seem to satisfy at all. But there were some real gems in there too. Warm Exodus is my favorite. Violet is sweet, A Clockwork Mind's world was amazing, Dog Eat Dog's dialogue was pitch perfect, and Kenner's Bad Day had a dragon in it! I think this can be chopped up to the writing community still getting itself out there, and it clearly had an impact since it's still being made, and today there are more anthologies being produced. Not the best overall, you could probably do better, but if you want to check out some early furry writing, you could do much worse. What about you, Internet? What's your opinion about Roar Volume 1? If you have a book you would like me to review, let me know in the comments below. Next week, we return to the world of novels and continue our look at furries as we go off the beaten path. Till next time, have a nice day.